Hey there folks, it's just me, your friendly neighborhood Walter Shepherd. Not really going to be speaking on anything biblical, as it were, but more or less just rambling, just talking about some of the things that I've seen in visions, and some of the things that I believe are coming in our future, after the rapture, of course. Everything takes place after the rapture, after our bodies have been changed, after we've gotten rid of these corruptible, sinful, fleshly bodies, and Jesus has given us incorruptibility, where our physical selves have been intermixed, fused with incorruptible heavenly matter. Because then we will be going, we will be going from one place to another. We can travel from one place to another. I was thinking, a little bit closer. I was thinking the other day about a typical day during the 1,000 years of peace. Let's say we start off somewhere in the middle. So we're about halfway through the 1,000 years of peace. The tribulation and Armageddon and the apocalypse have been gone for 5 centuries. So we start off, let's say, in the year 500 during the 1,000 years of peace, right in the middle. Okay, for the first century, for the first. Actually, I should have said for the, okay. Sorry. I've been dealing with the 1,000 years of peace for since 1996, seeing various visions of things during that time, and sometimes I get a little confused about that new heaven and earth with a lowercase n and a lowercase h and lowercase e, and the new heaven and earth that comes after that. Right now we're just on version 2 of the planet Earth. The first one was with Adam and Eve, and then the flood came along and gave us a second one, and we're on the second one now, and pretty soon at the end of the tribulation period, the beginning of the 1,000 years of peace, is going to be fire. That's going to change everything. So the earth during the 1,000 years of peace will be the third earth. And then after that, after Judgment Day, after the 1,000 years of peace, God is going to burn everything, and or he's going to pour fire over everything, but purify it. He's not going to destroy the earth that we build during the 1,000 years of peace. He's going to make it last forever. So the earth then will become a fourth version of the earth. One that will be made pure enough for God to be able to walk on and live on. So anyway, halfway through the 1,000 years of peace, I would imagine by then that the survivors of Armageddon, the flesh and blood people, the remnant of survivors that survived the great earth shake, and the fire that comes down and burns up everything. There will be about I've had dreams in which a specific number was given. There will be about 5,000 people that did not take the mark of the beast during the tribulation. So their flesh and blood will be pure, although they will still be descended from Adam and Eve, so they will still have that sin nature. But only this time during the millennium, they will be growing up and building a society and having children in a day and age without the temptation of evil. Without their flesh being tempted the way it is now because of Satan. So since Satan will be bound during the 1,000 years of peace, mankind in their flesh and blood sin nature will grow up being guided by you wise servants, all the servants of the Lord, all you wise virgins and prayer warriors and watchmen. You will come back down during the 1,000 years of peace and help build up a society that runs smoothly. That it has no stresses. There's no money. but people are just doing things because they've always enjoyed doing them. They have natural skills and talents, so they exercise those. So I would imagine for the first century of the millennium, we will easily have been gotten to the point where we have technology, non-polluting technology. We have cars, we have airplanes. We'll probably even achieve a space flight. We will have water vehicles to go under the water as well as on top of the water. And so, by the time we get to the middle of the 1,000 years of peace, we will have modern cities like we have now. Only they'll be far more advanced, and we'll have big, huge, large cities that are filled with millions of people. I would imagine halfway through the 1,000 years of peace, the population will grow from the first, or from the few 5,000 that it started off with, to several billion. I know there will be many billion by the end of the 1,000 years of peace. So by the middle, there should be several billion, maybe almost as much as we have now. 5, 6, 7 billion people on the planet halfway through. And so you servants of the Lord in your regenerated bodies will be there in some sort of position of authority. Whether you're leading a lot of people or whether you're leading a few people, whether you're running a kind of a business or industry or whatever. But you servants of the Lord that have been given a position of authority, you will also have a dwelling on the earth as well too. So not only will your dwelling on the earth be made to your liking, it'll be the kind of dream home that you've always wanted on earth. And within that home, your dwelling on earth, there will be a door somewhere that you can put anywhere you want. Anywhere you want. You can put it in a bedroom, you can put it in a basement, you can put it in a living room or wherever. But it will be a door that is connected interdimensionally, with a particular door in your mansion in heaven. So at any time during the 1,000 years of peace, if you want to go to your mansion in heaven and you're near your dwelling place, you just walk through that door and boom, you're instantly in your mansion in heaven, wherever that is, in the heavenly city, wherever that is there. Or if during the 1,000 years of peace you're on the other side of the planet, away from your home, and you want to get to heaven, you just think yourself there, and you're there. There'll be no limits to where you can go, to how fast you can get there, or to how you can get there. We can travel between heaven and earth at the speed of thought, or by various other means too. Again, there'll be no limit. If you're in your regenerated body during the 1,000 years of peace, and you decide you want to go visit the mountains, go hiking, you could think yourself there, or you could even fly. You will have command over the laws of nature, so you could just lift yourself up off the ground like Superman or some other flying kind of figure, and then just make your way there. And if all of a sudden, halfway through your flight to the mountains, you decided you wanted to go to heaven to get something, and so you could either think yourself there and you're instantly there, or if you want, you can create a dimensional portal, a big window or a great big vortex or whatever shape you want it, and you could fly into that portal, and that'll take you from the time-space universe into the infinite dimensionless realms of heaven, and all the other things that they have there. Excuse me, I've still got that tickle in my throat. And so you'll be able to do a lot more during the 1,000 years of peace. You can explore anywhere on Earth, or under the Earth, or underwater, or you can go into the solar system. By the time we get to the middle of the 1,000 years of peace, I'm sure we'll be mining all the minerals and the metals from all the asteroids in the asteroid belt. So I'm sure there will be a thriving industry going on there that will be led by somebody. That will be led by a servant of the Lord that will take all the flesh and blood people and say, okay, this is your job, this is your job. And so all the metals from the asteroid field will be refined, and we'll be using those to make the buildings and the spaceships and the cars and the vehicles during the 1,000 years of peace. So we won't have to strip the ground for any of that. But I'm sure there will still be areas where it can be stripped. So you, a servant of the Lord, you will have your mansion in heaven. You have your dwelling on earth. And the Bible, the book of Revelation, even suggests a place where the servants of the Lord can gather. And it calls that the morning star, or it calls that Venus. Venus will be a planet, and it may still have a poisonous atmosphere, but because we are created with heavenly matter after the rapture, the laws of time and space won't have any effect on us. So we won't need to breathe. And so being or surviving on a planet like Venus, if it still has the poisonous atmosphere, it'll be no big deal to us. We'll be able to easily exist on that. It'll just be another fog bank, or we can clear it away, or something. Anyway, I believe that that the Lord has given us the planet Venus in which to set up another dwelling, or some sort of council where all servants can get together and have a meeting every once in a while to discuss what's going on, maybe once a century, until the time comes where we all got to get together at the end of the 1,000 years of peace. We all have to get together and somehow try and limit Satan's corruption of mankind, because at the end of the 1,000 years of peace, he's going to take all those flesh and blood people that can still be tempted, and he's going to try and corrupt them so that they can destroy, or so that they can attempt to destroy Jerusalem. And so during that 1,000 years of peace, it'll be up to you servants to teach all the people that are under you, all the flesh and blood people, to teach them how to resist the devil, how to overcome their flesh, how to overcome temptation, so that when the devil does show up at the end of the 1,000 years, they won't fall for his temptation. But you, with your body, will be given a number of positions, and a number of dwelling places, a number of offices, if you will. I started to count that off. You have your mansion in heaven. You have your dwelling place inside the city, and I believe you will also have another dwelling place inside of heaven's landscape somewhere, and you will have your dwelling place on the planet Venus. And eventually, I believe, and this part is going to get way out there. After the 1,000 years of peace, when God makes Earth his home, the universe will be there for us to explore. And we will have built up our positions of authority during the 1,000 years of peace, so that I believe at some point in the future, you servants of the Lord are going to be in charge of a solar system. There's a solar system somewhere out there in the universe that you will get to have dominion over. It'll either be an empty solar system that you can say, okay, I want this kind of planet here, I want this kind of planet here, I want this kind of life form, I want this kind of life form, and you can work with Jesus and the Father and the Spirit, and you guys together can develop your own solar system with whatever kind of life they have on it. I'm just getting company now, and then again from there. Control over an entire solar system, that could take about 10,000 years or so. The 1,000 years of peace is for us to show Jesus how we can take the authority that he's given us and do something with it, be faithful with it, so that it can be multiplied yet again as time goes on. So after you've shown the Lord how responsible you can be with a solar system, I believe part of that solar system, one of the planets on there will be your planet, and a planet where with Jesus Father and the Holy Spirit, you can get together and design a planet the way you've always wanted it to be. you can help them, or together you can all create I don't know, a planet that has a purple sky instead of a blue sky, or a planet that has a pink sky instead of a blue sky, or one that is entirely forested all over, or one that is just like Earth but with more forest, or more desert, or more mountains, or more water, or an entire planet that is all water and the whole civilization lives underwater, or whatever it is. It's entirely up to you. Whatever. Whatever would be the desire of your heart, whatever kind of thing you've always dreamed of or you've always wanted of, that'll be one of the many gifts that there are to come. As we will have a number of dwelling places, a number of workplaces that the Father will give us as time goes on. So it's just now we have to show Him in the here and now that we can be responsible with what He's given us. We can be with it. We have to show Him we can be responsible with our living space, with our body, taking care of our health, being responsible with the people around us, our family and friends, looking after them, being good examples, being responsible at work, or being responsible at school, being responsible with the other people in public. So the more that we can show Him how responsible we can be, the more that will be multiplied to us in the ages to come, not only in heaven, getting those gifts, but also during the 1,000 years of peace. And then the new heaven and earth after the 1,000 years of peace, when we get to explore this galaxy and then the entire universe and everything else. And so your servants of the Lord are going to be given a number of offices or dwelling places. You're ranching in heaven, you're dwelling on earth, you're dwelling on Venus, whatever office you have out there in the solar system, whatever your authority will be. And then you'll have your own planet, your own solar system, and probably even at some point, a million years from now, maybe there's an entire galaxy there that you can help to grow and to live and to thrive, become a mayor of a galaxy, or whatever. Again, we have no idea exactly what God has planned. No mind can possibly can conceive everything that God has given us, but it'll be a fulfillment of our dreams and the desires of our heart. And we just have to show God that we can be faithful with what He's given us now. If we can be faithful with the 1 coin or the 2 coins that He's given us, or the 5 coins or the 10 coins, if we show Him we can be responsible with that, He will give us more. More will be multiplied. So I guess that's about it for now. Just be faithful wherever you are in internet land and YouTube world. Be a blessing to the people around you. Be responsible. Take care of things, and just live as if you're living for the Lord and not for people. Work as if you're working for the Lord and not for people. Talk to others as if you're talking to the Lord and not just people. So we have to be a good example of Jesus' servants. And then out of that will come the rewards, treasures, gifts, and mansions that the Lord will be giving us in the days ahead. So for now, just be a blessing. Take care of yourself, people. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for commenting and suggesting. And I guess that's it. We'll see you all at the Eastgate meetup. So take care. Stay in prayer. We will see you in Jesus' kingdom somewhere over there. And I know we're going to see a lot of you somewhere up in the air. All right. Remember, Jesus rules.